Hey everyone, welcome to Old Iron Garage. Thank you for tuning in, and this is part 2 of the Homelite XL12 videos. We're going to pick up right where we left off. I literally haven't even got out of my chair. So, yeah, here we go. Let's go ahead and dive in. I am down to this much of the saw. I should now be able to take off the cylinder. I'm going to get the spark plug out of there. I don't even know why I still got it in there at this point. If you have not watched part 1 of this, if you have not watched part 1 of this video series, go back and watch part 1. We did take a look at the saw. We looked it over real well. I did get it to run, but I felt like it was very weak. Like it was not running very strong. I felt like it seemed very tired. And we took the muffler off and took a look in the cylinder. So go back and check that out if you have not watched that yet. Alrighty. What's that? 9/16? No, it's half inch. So those would be 7/16. There we go. Let's see why I couldn't do this with the 1/4-inch drive ratchet. I should be able to. Oh yeah. It's nice and easy. That side I won't be able to. That's got to be a wrench. Yeah, down there too. Let's spin these two loose. Don't want to lose the nut off the bench and onto the floor. Like that. That would have been on the floor. I'm a little worried, guys. I'm hoping at least the cylinder still looks good. I feel like the saw, because a few different things, the saw is just kind of telling me, save me, save me. So, I'm going to try to save it. We'll see how that goes. But, oops, wrong drawer. Yeah, we'll just see how that goes. But, I might see if I can just get away with just a piston and rings, piston head and rings maybe. But, yeah, like I said, we're going to just open up this engine and take a look at everything and see what we find. I hope this cylinder is not a pain in the butt to get loose. Oh my. I don't even know how I'm going to get that last. How am I even supposed to get that last nut? There's no space in there to work. You can't get the closed end in there. There's just literally, I see one person in the past busted off part of a cooling fin there, probably to gain access. Oh man, what a nightmare. How am I supposed to turn that? Good night. I can't even. It's going to be too tight to do it by hand. And, yeah. Ain't no way to do it by hand. And, I mean, I got to budge just the tiniest bit with the wrench, but there is not enough space in there to move that. If you have any helpful advice, please drop a comment. Of course, by this time, the time you see this video, I'm sure I will have it off. Oh, it budged a tiny bit. This might be the key right here. I mean, I'm sure Homelite had a specific way you're supposed to do this, but whatever tool I need to get in there to do it, I do not have it. I'm just getting in there with literally anything I can to try to get at it, to turn it. It's almost to the point where I should be able to turn it by finger. So, I'm going to try it now. Okay, I can now spin it by finger. Oh, praise the Lord. Okay, it is all the way to the end. And the cylinder is coming loose. So I'm going to try to carefully work that off. And we will see what we find, guys. It's coming. There it is. Eee. Looks kind of ugly. Oof. I don't even know if you guys want to see. Well, let's build some suspense while I clean up my workspace a little bit. I don't know if there's any options for, well, I guess before I get ahead of myself, I should probably actually clean up the cylinder and feel around in there, but it looks ugly on the exhaust port side. I can feel it with my thumbnail. It doesn't feel like, it's not deep, but it does not feel great. I don't really know much about, guys, I don't really know much about like 2-cycle cylinders. Is honing an option? That's something I'm going to have to look into. Or possibly a cheap, like, piston and cylinder kit, like an aftermarket one. At least until I can afford, find and afford an OEM one. I feel like a cheap aftermarket one would be a better option than just not saving the saw at all. I'm not a fan of cheap aftermarket parts, but I mean, I guess that'd be better than no parts. I know you're wanting to see the cylinder. Alright, alright. Not that rag, I just wiped the bench with that one. Let me try to kind of clean this out a little bit. Alright guys, I'm going to bring you down and we're going to take a look here in the cylinder. Alright, so that is the side opposite of, hang on. This is the side opposite of the exhaust port. I don't feel any grooves at all, but I can feel those grooves. That's looking kind of ugly. Like, they're not super deep. Is there any way to give a cylinder like this a light, really light hone than just maybe slap a new cheap piston and rings in it and see what happens. I feel like putting a new piston and rings in would be better. A cheap set would be better than just letting the saw set or scrapping it. There's the option of parting it out and giving, sending good parts off to people that can really use them, but I'd really like to just try to save the saw. Yee. So there's that. Let's bring this over. That is, those are deep. And then there's that. I'm not going like that. I'm like going like this. Let me try to do it slower so you guys can see. Should it be able to rotate on there? I don't think so. I feel like it should be tight on there. Let's see. There is a little bit of up and down motion. I don't know how well you guys can see it with how much up and down motion, like this. Now I'm not trying to go side to side, I'm trying to go up and down. How much up and down motion is acceptable is just enough that I can just barely hear it. Can you guys hear that? And are the crank seals any good, I wonder? Did this scoring happen because it went lean because of crank seals, or it's hard to say. I mean, if I do put a piston and rings in this, I probably better change the crank seals just to save that piston and rings, just in case those crank seals are bad. Alright guys, well, I mean, yeah. Alright guys, well that pretty much wraps up this video here. I have some thinking to do, and I got to talk to some experts. I've never really had to dive this far into a 2-cycle engine, so I need to talk to some others about this and get their opinions and see what they think. And then I'm going to decide what to do. I was really hoping that cylinder would still look good. Sometimes it just chews up the piston and like sometimes even the piston and rings, but the cylinder's still okay. Like it's still all smooth, no scoring, that you can feel it all, but this I can feel it a little bit, so that has me concerned. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to talk to some friends that are a lot more knowledgeable about the internals of 2-cycle engines and rebuilding them than I am, and go from there. Alright guys, so thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Alright, later guys.